They both learned from the same master, but one listened to everything he said while the other only heard what he wanted to hear. In a trading city, where merchants competed to build successful businesses, two young men sought wisdom from a legendary teacher known for creating wealthy students. Both attended every lesson. Both took notes. Both claimed to follow his teachings. But 10 years later, one student was wealthy beyond measure while the other was broke and blaming the teacher for bad advice. The difference? One student listened with both ears. The other listened with only one. The first student's name was Camille. When Camille attended the teacher's lessons, he was excited. The teacher shared powerful strategies. Camille loved the parts about taking bold action, seizing opportunities, and thinking big. You must invest in yourself, the teacher would say. Camille heard that loud and clear. He'd nod enthusiastically. Yes, invest in myself. Take big risks. Go all in. But then the teacher would also say, you must save money consistently, build reserves, protect yourself from disaster, move carefully with discipline. Camille would tune out during these parts. That's boring advice, he'd think. That's for scared people. I'm here to learn how to get rich fast, not how to save pennies. So Camille only absorbed half the teachings. He took massive action just like the teacher said. He invested aggressively. He took big risks. He went all in on opportunities. He followed all the exciting advice perfectly, but he ignored the other half. He never saved. He never built reserves. He never protected himself. He skipped all the boring, disciplined advice. Camille would tell people, I'm following the master's teachings exactly. But he was only following the parts that excited him while ignoring the parts that required discipline. Year after year, Camille made money and lost it just as fast. He'd have big wins followed by devastating losses. He'd ride high then crash hard. He was always swinging between extremes, never building anything stable. After 10 years, Camille was broke. He'd made money dozens of times, but lost it all because he never saved, never protected himself, never built reserves. He blamed the teacher. His advice didn't work. He told me to take risks, and I lost everything. But Camille had only followed half the advice. He was a one-eyed student learning from a two-eyed teacher. The second student's name was Tariq. When Tariq attended the same lessons, he also got excited about the bold strategies. But Tariq did something different. He listened to everything. When the teacher said, invest in yourself and take calculated risks, Tariq listened. When the teacher said, save money consistently and build reserves, Tariq also listened. When the teacher explained bold action, Tariq absorbed it. When the teacher taught careful discipline, Tariq absorbed that too. Tariq understood that the teacher's wisdom wasn't in just one part of his teaching. It was in the complete system, the combination of boldness and caution, action and discipline, risk and protection. So Tariq followed all of it. He took bold opportunities, but always kept savings aside. He invested aggressively, but never everything. He moved fast, but with calculated risks. He was ambitious, but disciplined. After 1 year, Tariq had built modest wealth. After 5 years, substantial wealth. After 10 years, He was wealthy beyond most people's dreams. Not because he got lucky, but because he followed the complete teachings, not just the exciting parts. One day, broke and bitter, Camille saw Tariq and said, "We learned from the same teacher. We followed the same advice. Why are you wealthy and I'm broke?" Tariq replied, "Because you only heard what you wanted to hear. I heard everything." Camille got defensive. "I followed his teachings. He said take risks and invest. I did that." Tariq nodded. "You followed half his teachings. You heard take risks, but ignored save consistently. You heard invest aggressively, but ignored protect yourself from disaster. You heard think big, but ignored build reserves. You were a one-eyed student. You only saw the exciting parts. You closed your eye during the disciplined parts. So you got one-eyed results. Half wisdom leads to half results. Usually the broke half. Here's the truth about learning that destroys most people. They only absorb the advice that sounds good and ignore the advice that requires discipline. People love hearing follow your passion, but ignore develop valuable skills first. They love take big risks, but ignore build safety nets. They love invest aggressively, but ignore save consistently. They create Frankenstein strategies, parts of different advice stitched together based on what feels good, ignoring the boring but critical pieces that make it all work. Camille represents most people who consume advice. They cherry pick. They listen with one ear. They hear the exciting stuff and tune out the disciplined stuff. Then they fail and blame the teacher, the system, or bad luck. But the truth is they only followed half the advice. And half advice usually leads to failure. Tariq represents people who actually succeed with advice. They listen to everything, even the boring parts, even the parts that require discipline, even the advice that doesn't sound fun. They understand that wisdom is usually a complete system. You can't just take the exciting parts and expect it to work. You need bold action and careful discipline, risk and protection, investment and saving. Think about your own learning. Are you a one-eyed student? Do you only absorb advice that sounds exciting? Do you tune out when teachers talk about boring but critical fundamentals? Most people do this. They read books but skip chapters on discipline. They watch videos but fast forward through parts about patience. They want the shortcuts without the foundations. Then they wonder why the advice didn't work. It didn't work because they didn't follow it. They followed the fun half and ignored the essential half. Complete advice requires complete listening. You can't pick and choose based on what excites you. The boring parts are usually the parts that keep you from failing. Camille followed exciting advice for 10 years and stayed broke. Tariq followed complete advice for 10 years and became wealthy. Same teacher, same lessons, different listening. One heard what he wanted. One heard everything. One failed. One succeeded. Stop being a one-eyed student. Listen with both ears. Follow complete advice, not just the exciting parts. The boring fundamentals are what separate winners from losers. Who think they're following the same path? Watch the next one.